Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.
Worcester City win that game and they will be in Division 1 Midlands next season.
Chance in Paul Job's got a chance in the penalty, gets shot in and goes to the back of the net, and Cheyenne Jarvis gets the second goal for Leaford Athletic this afternoon, found space in the 6-yard box.
Back to the edge of the penalty area with the pass, crossing towards the back post, headed goalwards and in!
That's a great shot from De Castro! Oh, what a save for Gray! And the Red Kid 2-0!
Stourbridge have won the Division 1 Midlands title.
The Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio.
Good evening, welcome along to this week's Women's Football Chat. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every week bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League. And, well, pre-season is well and truly underway now for the majority of teams up and down the country. But with pre-season starting, that does mean the news slows down a little bit. A lot of the sides, they've got their new managers in place, head coaches, assistant managers, all that sort of thing. They're in place, they're ready to go. Pre-season has started, which means a lot of the teams have got the players in that they want, or they're playing a few trialists in these first couple of games, trying to figure out exactly what squad they want ahead of the next season. So in terms of the news, it's gone downhill a little bit, not a huge amount to talk about, just two bits of news really this week. Plus, of course, as has become a custom on this show, the inevitable piece of news that will break between recording this show and the show going live later on this evening. But we will start with the news, and we're going to start at Queen's Park Rangers. Because Queen's Park Rangers have announced in the last week that Danny Harrigan, who was on a part-time basis when he was appointed last summer, is now the full-time women's head coach, the first full-time head coach of the QPR women's side in the club's history. Now, he has said that it's a big moment not only for himself but also a sign of intent from the club and shows the ambition they have for the women's team. Coming in on a part-time basis last year was exciting for him, but being offered the full-time opportunity allows us to focus fully. He says the club's keenness to develop the women's team has made a real impact on the squad, as well as enabling them to attract additional talent into the building. He says he thinks the girls appreciate the fact that he's not someone they meet at the start of the season and never see again. This is about the CEO, Christian Norrie. He's at all of the QPR women's games, home and away. So there's a lot of support there behind the scenes for QPR. They finished 5th in Division 1 South East last season, and they've added some good names into the squad already for 25-26. Now, Harrigan says that they started recruitment back in September and October of last year. So this is obviously a long time in the making. It's been coming for Queen's Park Rangers, and they seem to be really trying to build upon this, particularly for next season, this updated format where there is this playoff. So there's an extra opportunity to get into Tier 3, which is where the side want to be. The recruitment strategy, they say, has looked at getting into Tier 3. Of course, it's not going to be easy because there are lots of other teams that are doing the same thing. That Queen's Park Rangers might be ones to watch next season because it looks as though they're doing everything in the right way and they've been building up to this. This isn't just a quick decision, as he says there. They've been looking at this recruiting now for the best part of 9 months and trying to make sure they can get the best players in to make this real push for Tier 3 next season. So Division 1 South East, with the likes of Norwich being in there again as well. How are Fulham going to do, having moved up from Tier 5? Obviously, there's big other teams in there as well. Queen's Park Rangers, one of them. It could be a very exciting league next season. So it's plenty for QPR fans to be excited about. So that was Queen's Park Rangers. Now, the other piece of news really that's come out this week is from the Adobe Women's FA Cup, which will start on the 24th of August with the preliminary round. Now, they have announced the round dates for next season. Now, where this impacts FAWNL sides is from the third round qualifying, which is where the tier 4 sides will come into the competition. So third round qualifying is Sunday the 5th of October, and then the first round proper, which is where the tier 3 sides enter the competition, that is on Sunday the 26th of October. So there's a preliminary round, a first round and a second round of qualifying before the tier 4 sides enter the competition. In the third round qualifying on October the 5th, then the tier 3 sides come in on October the 26th. In the first round proper, they then get whittled down in the first round and the second round until there are just 20 left. Then the championship sides come in into the competition in the third round, which is in the middle of December. Then the WSL sides on the 18th of January. And then that will have to shift somewhat next season, although that is a next season problem when the WSL has 14 sides and not 12, because then you're going to have only 18 rather than 20 sides going into that round 4, which is going to have a knock-on effect through the championship and then all the way down. Ultimately, it just means that you have less teams coming in the preliminary round from tier 7 who have to apply for it. So Monday the 28th of July is the key day where the list of accepted clubs will get published. The clubs receiving an exemption, well, we know what those are going to be. It's the Super League into tier 4, into round 4, Championship round 3, etc. And the 25-26 prize fund. That'll be interesting to see if anything has changed there with regards to the real top-heavy prizes that we've been seeing. As soon as the championship sides come in, the prize money shoots up, where the bottom of the pyramid is the ones that really need it. And then on Monday the 4th of August, the preliminary round and the first round qualifying draw will come out, as well as the competition rules, which are fairly standard every single year. But there is that from the Women's FA Cup to go through as and when towards the end of July. And that really is the news from the past 7 days in the FAWNL. The only thing really to highlight coming up in the next week is that on Tuesday, don't know what time, could be any point on Tuesday as far as we're aware at the moment, the fixtures for next season will be announced, and therefore the board behind me will get filled in full of red for league and whatever colour I decide to do these group stages in for the cup and plate, which are also going to get announced next week. It'll be interesting to see how they have put that together and what, because they said they wanted a mix of tier 3, tier 4 and PGA in every group where possible. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of the makeup of each group is. Is it something where you can ring round the map and work the groups out? Is there evidence of some sort of draw taking place, which I believe you would be able to do, even with the need for a local fixture for midweek games? But we'll see what happens with that, and we'll go into that in more detail on next week's show. Right. Quarter-final draw time for the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout then. We are down to just 8 sides, and the vast majority of them are from Tier 4. The Leafield Athletic, Kidderminster Harriers, the two big sides that have been really getting involved in this tournament, getting a lot of likes, a lot of reposts in each round. Look as though if they can avoid each other, then they might be favourites to contest the final, but who knows. In the summer knockout tournament, defending champions Halifax are still in there as well. So let's go and do that quarter-final draw. It's time then for the quarter-final draw of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout 2025. We started with 72 FAWNL sides and we now have only 8 left. Let's run through those ball numbers for you ahead of this quarter-final draw. Number 1 is Abingdon United, 2 Ascot United, 3 Bournemouth Sports, 4 our defending champions Halifax, 5, Kidderminster Harriers, second new side into the FAWNL, who have reached this quarter-final stage. 6, Leafield Athletic. They had a very strong third-round tie against Chorley, came through that with flying colours. 7, Portishead Town, and 8 is Rugby Borough. 4 teams from Division 1 South West, 2 from the Northern Premier Division and 2 from Division 1 Midlands. Let's run through the rules again for you ahead of this quarter-final tie. So the draw is going to go up on our X account at WFootball Chat pretty much as soon as this draw is complete. You will then have until 6 p.m. on Sunday to vote for your favourite FAWNL side in each of the ties, whether that is because they are your FAWNL side, maybe they are playing your rivals, or maybe they just play in your favourite colour. Whatever the reason, vote for your favourite side. You can vote once with a like, and then if you want to, you can vote second time with a repost, and the side with the highest combined likes and reposts from each tie will go through into next week's semi-final. Voting closes on Sunday at 6 p.m. Not going to take very long, this draw, just 4 ties to be drawn, so we'll get straight down to it. And the first side out, number 4, our defending champions Halifax. Halifax, the first side out. And Halifax will take on the other Northern Premier Division side, Rugby Borough, all Northern Premier Division quarter-final then between Halifax and Rugby Borough. Next out, number 1, Abingdon United. Abingdon United of Division 1 South West. And they will take on number 2, Ascot United of Division 1 South West. So far 2 interdivisional ties. Next out is number 6, Leafield Athletic. Leafield Athletic, who were very strong in the third round, defeating Chorley. And they take on number 3, Bournemouth Sports. Leafield Athletic against Bournemouth Sports. And finally then, number 5 is Kidderminster Harriers. Kidderminster Harriers, if all has gone to plan, they should be coming up against number 7, Portishead Town. Portishead Town, the opponents for Kidderminster Harriers. And that's the quarter-final draw done. We have Halifax against Rugby Borough, Abingdon United against Ascot United, Leafield Athletic against Bournemouth Sports, and Kidderminster Harriers against Portishead Town. Those ties are up on our social media now, and you have until 6 p.m. on Sunday to like and repost your favourite through to the semi-finals.
And there we are then, the quarter-final draw for the Summer Knockout Tournament has been completed. Those ties are now up on our social media at WFootball Chat on X. You've got until 6 p.m. on Sunday to like and repost to get your favourite side through into the semi-finals. And that will about do it for this week's Women's Football Chat, unless something has happened between recording this morning and posting it tonight. If that has been the case and I've had time to get a clip in and then add it into the edit and get it uploaded, then I'll insert that now. And of course, there was news on Thursday between recording and posting of this week's Women's Football Chat. There always is
in the off-season. It's like the teams have got it out for me. Let's start with Northampton Town, who have announced that Liam Williams has stepped down as joint manager of Northampton Town Women, parting on excellent terms. Now, Williams joined Josh Oldfield as joint manager in 2022 ahead of the first season in the FAWNL, and they have guided the Cobblers through Division 1 Midlands ever since. They've also picked up silverware in the Northamptonshire FA Women's Cup final. A very long tenure in footballing terms anyway for Liam, at Northampton Town Women, but he has stepped down from his role. Josh Oldfield is going to continue to manage the side with the assistance of lead goalkeeper coach Jack Messinger and head of recruitment Joe Vipond, and the club are taking applications for a new first team coach, so they want to stick with this kind of joint head coach philosophy here at Northampton Town. So some really important news coming out from Northampton ahead of the new season. And then we're going to go down to the southwest with Plymouth Argyle, who have undergone what they are calling an important restructure ahead of the 25-26 FA Women's National League Southern Premier Division campaign. They say the mission is clear: become a sustainable team in the FAWNL with championship aspirations. Of course, they have the new head coach in Marie Hurahan. They've got plenty of players coming in as well, and they've said that the restructure is made possible thanks to our generous sponsors for the upcoming campaign. J2O will adorn the front of the shirts this season thanks to a multi-year deal, and they also have other brands, both local and national, on multi-year partnerships. What it means is they've also brought in more new members of staff, and that can mean more contact time on and off the pitch with players. So some training, some in the gym. So they had 4.5 contact hours time a week last season. They're increasing that to 7.5, which they say is in line with league opponents. The additional training hours are possible because there are various training locations of Harpers Park, Marjon and soon Fulston Park, with a £21 million investment. They've also made changes to their talent pathway as well, and they say that will better support the development of players through the pathway and set them up in a stronger place to make the jump to the first team than in previous years. So a couple of significant pieces of news that have come out since we recorded this morning, plus mentioned earlier on that the FAWNL fixtures for the 25-26 season are out on Tuesday. Now, earlier we didn't know exactly when on Tuesday that was going to be. We now know that that is at midday on Tuesday they say at 12 p.m. On Tuesday, which, yeah, I would call it midday rather than 12 p.m. 12 p.m. makes it sound like it's midnight, but it's not. So midday on Tuesday, the 15th of July, which is the upcoming Tuesday, the FAWNL fixtures will be confirmed, and that, I believe, also includes the group stages for the Cup and Plate for the next season. But yes, things, of course, were going to happen between recording the show and the show being posted. Anything that happens between now, which is 4:30, and the show going live at 8 o'clock will have to go into next week, because otherwise I'm going to run out of time to upload this for you. So yes, that will do it for this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat. A much shorter one, but as I said, most of the teams now have done their news for the summer. They're now getting into pre-season with the start of the 25-26 FAWNL season now, 5 weeks away from 5.5 weeks away from the start of the new season. Of course, every single fixture, every single result and the league table updates as they happen will be right here on the Women's Football Chat. Thank you very much for watching this week's episode. Don't forget to vote for your favourite FAWNL side from the 8 that remain. We started with 72 and now we're getting down into the business end of the competition. I'll be back next Thursday and we'll have all of the very latest from the FA Women's National League for you, including a rundown of not only the opening fixtures but of course those groups for the Cup and Plate group stage next season. Thank you for watching and goodbye.